Hey there, my name is Kelly Dale and I'm owner of Off the Beaten Path located in Forest City, North Carolina. For today's video, I'm going to teach you how to make the Duo Diamond Bracelet. Now with this bracelet, you're going to need 78 Super Duo beads, or you can use twin beads. You're going to need about 60 size 11 seed beads. I'm just going to use regular seed beads, not delicas. You're going to need about 160 size 15 seed beads, 34 3mm. Now you can use bicones or rounds, either one. You're going to need a clasp, a size 12 beading needle, and about 4 yards of 6-pound fire line. You can use an 8-pound fire line, but it gets kind of tight stitching back through there, so I don't really recommend it. You're going to be making components that will connect together to make the bracelet. So if you're not comfortable with working with all 4 yards at one time, cut yourself just a yard at a time and work with it, because you'll get a couple of components out of 1 yard. So go ahead and get your materials together and we'll get started. This is the bracelet I'm going to be teaching you how to do today. This is my bronze and pink version of the bracelet. And then this is a purple version. It kind of looks blue in the picture, but this is an opaque purple with a galvanized metallic purple and a purple light seed bead. So it's a really pretty, actually purple bracelet. So for today, I'm going to be using a Jet Picasso for my Super Duo. I'm going to be using a size 11 black seed bead, a size 11 opaque lustered cream seed bead, and I'm going to be using a silver, or I believe this is a silver 3mm. So to get started, I've got my needle threaded, and I'm going to pick up a size 11 seed bead and one Super Duo 6 times. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you start with a seed bead and you'll end with a Super Duo. So this is what you should have. Now you're going to let these beads drop down, and you're going to leave yourself just a short tail. And you want to take and go back through those beads one more time, going from the tail upward. I'm going to hold on to my tail thread and pull the other thread all the way through, so that it makes a little circle, just like this. And we're going to take and tie those threads so that it'll keep our knot right there in between a Super Duo and a size 11 seed bead. So once you do that, this is what you'll have. I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to go through the 11 and a Super Duo right next to the knot. And I'm going to go up through the top hole of the Super Duo that I'm currently exiting. So I'm going to come through this one right here. Now if that little tail thread gets in your way, you can take your cutters and you can trim the tail thread off. I've pulled my knot inside of the little size 11 seed bead, so I'm okay there. So you should be exiting the top of the Super Duo, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pick up 2 Super Duos, skip the seed bead, and go through the top hole of the next Super Duo. we're going to pick up a 15, a 3mm, and a 15. Skip the seed bead and go through the top hole of the next super duo. Pick up a 15, a 3mm, and a 15. Skip the seed bead and go through the top hole of the next super duo. This time, I'm going to pick up 2 super duo beads, skip the seed bead, go through the top hole of the next super. We're going to repeat the same thing on the other side, so we're going to pick up a 15, a 3mm, and a 15, skip the seed bead and go through the top hole of the super duo. Pick up a 15, a 3mm, and a 15, and go through the top hole of the next super duo, so that when you pull it through, your piece should be identical on each side, just like this. Now we're ready to step up. So I'm going to come through the 2 super duos that I first added. And then up through the top hole of the second super duo. So I'm going to go up through the top hole and exit the first one there. Pick up 1 super duo and go right through the top hole of the very next one. So that it makes a point just like this. Once you get that point, we're going to pick up 3 size 15s. And we're going to go through the 15, the 3mm, the 15, and I'll go ahead and pull it through. And I'm going to keep on going through the super duo, the 15, the 3mm, and then the 15. So once you do it, this is what it should look like. We're going to pick up 3 15s and go through the top hole of the first super duo here, sticking up. And then pick up 1 super duo and go through the top hole of the very next bead there. So that gives us a point on the top and a point on the bottom. Pick up 3 15s, go through the 15, the 3mm, and the 15. Go through that super duo, and then through the 15, the 3mm, and the 15. We're going to pick up 3 15s and we're going to come through the top hole of this first super duo of the previous row. So we're just going to go through that one right there. Now once you get that, go ahead and pull that. Now if you pull nice and tight throughout the piece, this will dome up just a little bit. Some of these are going to dome better than others. I haven't really figured out why. I guess maybe it's the finish of the piece, but some will dome better than others. So this is my first component, and I'm going to go ahead and add the clasp to one end of this. So I'm going to go, and I'm going to go through this bottom hole of my Super Duo, and then through the top hole of the same one, so that I'm exiting out of this end Super Duo. I've got my clasp, and I've added a jump ring to the end of my clasp. You can add a split ring also. There's many ways that you can do this clasp part here. This is just my preferred way, so it's kind of whatever you want to do. But I'm coming out of the top hole here, and I'm going to pick up 3 11s, the first half of my clasp, and 3 11s. I'm going to come back through the same Super Duo that I'm exiting to make a circle, so that my clasp looks like this on the end. Now I'm going to go through and reinforce this several times and then tie off the thread for this component. If you don't necessarily like just doing the small ring there, you can take and do like I did here on the end. I added an 11, 3 3mm and an 11, and then I stitched back up and used the wire protector on the end. Now you can do this too, but it's going to add that much length to the bracelet, so that's what you need to think about when you put your clasp on. So I'm going to go ahead and reinforce and tie this off and be right back with you. So my first component is completely finished and ready to go now. So I'm going to start a second component, and again we start it by picking up 1 11 and 1 Super Duo 6 times. So you start with a seed bead, size 11, and you end with the Super Duo. Bring them down and leave yourself just a small tail, and go back through all the beads once more to make a circle. Hold that tail and pull the thread, so that once you do that, you've got a circle, and you're going to take your tail and your working thread and tie them together into a couple of really good knots. You're going to go through the 11 and the Super Duo right next to your knot, and then up through the top hole of the Super Duo you're currently exiting. You can trim the little tail off if it's in your way. We want to pick up 2 Super Duos, come through the top hole of the next bead, pick up a 15, a 3mm, and a 15, come through the top hole of the next bead, 15, 3mm, 15, go through the top hole, pick up 2 Super Duos, go through the top hole, pick up a 15, a 3mm, and a 15, come through the top hole, and then one more time, a 15, a 3mm, and a 15, and go through the top hole and then through the bottom 2 holes of the next 2 super duos. So I'm actually going to go through 3 beads at once. I'm going to go through the top hole of the next bead, or that same super duo that I'm coming out of. Pick up 1 super duo, come through the top hole. So that gives us our point. Then 3 15s. Go through the 15, the 3mm, the 15, the super duo, the 15, the 3mm, and then I'm going to go through one more 15 there. Three 15s. I'm going to go through the top hole of this first super duo sticking up. Now on the first component we would have picked up a super duo, but since we're going to be connecting the components now, I'm going to take the old component, or my first component, and lay my new component right down next to it, just like this. So that now I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to go through the bottom hole of the first component and then through the top hole of the second component, just like this. So that when you pull, that super duo now goes into place where we would have added one, and it connects your 2 components together. So I'm going to pick up a 3 15s and go through the 15, the 3mm, the 15, and then on through the super duo, the 15, the 3mm, and the 15. Pick up 3 15s, and then I'm going to come through the top hole of that first super duo there of that little set of 3. So that now you have the second component finished. Now the difference that I do between the first and the second component is on all other components after the first one, I go through and I reinforce this outer layer of beads, so that way I'll have more than one thread pass through this super duo here on our connection. So I'll go through and I'll reinforce and I'll tie this off. Then what you'll do is you'll just continue making components just like I made this second one until you reach the length of the bracelet. On that last super duo, or on that last component, you're gonna add the other side of your bracelet so that when you finish, you'll have the completed bracelet just like this one. Now these are 7-inch bracelets, and this one took me 2, 4, 6, 7 components to do this one, and I used an adjustable toggle for the clasp. And then this bronze one has 2, 4, 6, 8. And I just used a different sort of ending rather than doing the bicones. I did the seed bead ending, so it will make a difference in which way you choose to end the bracelet, but that's how you make the bracelet. So I hope you enjoyed it. So I hope you guys enjoyed learning how to make the bracelet. Now be sure and come back next week when I'll be showing you how to take the ring component, the earring component that we've learned the last several weeks, and make that into a necklace. And it's a really, really pretty necklace that you can really dress up if you want to. So just come back next week and you'll see how to do that. We do have the pattern and the kits available for this bracelet in our Etsy store, and the pattern is also available at our website, offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com. So I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and we'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.